Just wonder if it's that right wrist. Took his sweatband off. Yeah, he's kind of poking at it now. He's feeling some pain there. Much talk about the ball this week. This Grand Slam being heavy takes its toll, and he's had some long matches. The last match against Hurkacz.
Well, the wrist has been a problem for a lot of the top guys, hasn't it, in recent years? Think of Kei Nishikori and Dominic Thiem and Matteo Berrettini, Juan Martín del Potro. They've all really struggled with wrist injuries.
Probably going to get it taped here and a bit of medication, a couple of pills maybe.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Korda is now receiving a medical timeout.
So he's taken the medical timeout, so 3 minutes of treatment allowed here for Korda.
Might explain the errors that we've seen off the forehand wing, because it has been a bit head-scratching, the amount that he has committed off that side.
Yeah, not just the amount, but the distance in which he's been missing them as well. They've not just been missing. So yeah, possibly was just feeling something with that wrist coming into the match. So those forehand errors started right from the very first game. And I guess this kind of tight strapping that can be quite uncomfortable and just distracting almost as well.
It's limiting the movement in itself is, yeah, it's not ideal. I guess the one thing for Korda, he doesn't play the excessive spin, so not a massive amount of wrist movement in his shots, but still it's not going to feel the same, is it? It's going to be very restricting. He's putting a fair bit of tape on here, but you still need enough movement to be able to play the shot, so it's that fine line.
Well, no let up at all here from Khachanov. Races into a 3-love lead. It's such a shame. We were looking forward to this match so much, but it looks as though it's going to be over pretty quickly.
It looks like it's getting to this stage of the set where, unless things improve quickly, he's probably going to... Oh, what's happening here?
Yeah, I think he's done.
He's pulled the plug.
Oh, it's so disappointing. But probably the sensible decision, you would say, for Korda. I mean, you could just tell there was no way that he was going to be able to turn this one around with the wrist as it was, and to save himself doing any further damage to it and potentially missing however many months of the season. He has decided to call it a day there. So Karen Khachanov, back-to-back Grand Slam semi-finals for him. Certainly not the way that he would have wanted to make the semi-final here, but he is through by virtue of a Sebastian Korda retirement.
I had it a little bit in Adelaide a couple of weeks ago, but then it went away, and during the matches it was completely fine. And then just one kind of miss-hit return, and just it started to bother me a lot after that. Some forehands I couldn't even hold the racket. Volleying was almost impossible for me, so it was a little tough. Yeah, a lot of confidence. You know, now, I mean, I've always been very close to winning the big matches, but now I'm getting through them. I think that's a huge lesson that I've been learning, and you know, going forward, I'm like I said, I'm really proud of myself, and going forward, I'm gonna keep on trying to do the same thing, keep on mentally being the same way, and you know, I think I can do some really big things in the near future.
Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, due to an injury,
We didn't realize it happened on one shot, Tim. What can it mean for his wrist? I mean, we're not doctors, obviously, but injuries...
I don't like the sound of that. You know, sometimes when you're late on in a tournament, you played a lot of tennis with heavy balls, these types of conditions, sometimes those aches and pains can come on over time. But when you you know, hear that he said 1 miss-hit return, he's suddenly getting sharp pain. It was difficult to hold the racket for forehands and volleys. You know, I hope he hasn't done some longer-term damage. I think hearing that, it's much more understandable why, you know, 2-0 and 3-0 down in a Grand Slam quarter-final, he pulled out, because sometimes you would say, well, you know, keep trying, keep fighting.
Which he did.
Yeah, he did.
For a while.
And I was certainly saying, you know, it's disappointing he couldn't try and change tactic or, you know, serve and volley to keep the rally short and not hit so many forehands. But when you hear that, I think it was a good decision. And fingers crossed, I'm sure he'll go and get some scans, and we hope that there isn't any sort of longer-term damage that's going to keep him out of the game for too long.
Hi, I'm John McEnroe, and welcome to Eurosport Tennis on YouTube. Click here to subscribe to Eurosport Tennis.